Drop a quick video about supply and demand and their relationship to the fib, or as we call it, premium versus discount, and how that works and how we can apply it to real world applications. And the idea is so it keeps us out of a lot of poorly priced positions. And what ends up happening as traders, we start getting flusters as with which supply and demand to use, and what should we do? Where are we in the leg? And all these questions arise. So there's a simple little tool called the Fib. Now there's several different versions. For the purpose of this video, the most important one you need to know of is just the premium versus discount. So your top half is the premium, that's your top 50%, and your bottom half is what's considered discount, which is your bottom 50%. And we want to be selling in the premium, buying in the discount. Myself, I use uh, the 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100. And I'm currently testing the 0, 30, 50, 70, 100 as well, just to give me a little more room. And the idea is all the same. And this is kind of your most best price stuff, I guess you would say. And as long as you're on the right side of premium or discount, even if you're a little bit above and be or above or below, it's totally fine with this concept. The traditional fib looks something like this, where you got all of these different numbers. Your 0, your 272, 50, 618, 70.5, 786, and you have the 100. I know some guys run the 764 and the 23.6. It really doesn't matter. You're either above the 50 or you're below. To keep things simple, we're just going to go premium and discount. And it kind of works like this. So we have a leg that's coming down. So what we do is we pull our fib from the top to the bottom. And when the leg comes up and hits a supply, we could see that we are in the premium pricing. Therefore, to me, this is a great area to sell from. This is obviously assuming the trend is bearish in this example, and we are in premium pricing. So we're okay to short from here as we expect price to go lower. And obviously we expect to target the week low, which would be this, and that would be our first target. Then we get another leg and we pull another fib. We react to a demand to the left. We come back up. We come and we react off a supply. Now, a lot of people will hurry up and jump in, and although that's totally fine, and you could get in here and you could look to manage, you don't really know what's going to happen because more often than not, the it might not even go down. It might just come to here and shoot up. So what often happens is when we print a high in the discount, a lot of times it ends up being inducement for the actual move, and we'll come back up and grab that inducement and use that as the fuel to continue down. And we will go over some real world examples on actual candles after this. And on the right, we have the reverse model of a bullish market. Again, you have a leg up, we come down, we tap into a demand. However, this demand is in the premium. So again, you could be a cowboy and you could buy this and you could get a few pips, and I don't know, maybe you could take a bit of profit off, or it comes back and breaks you even. But then it'll come back and it'll actually come back in the discount part of the demand, and you have a much safer trade here, in which case you could continue up and you get a lot more pips aiming for this. You could even hold to the next supply zone. Again, we got the same concept. We went up, we came back down. This demand is under the 50%, so we are in discount and we are okay to continue buying. And that is the concept, as simple as I can make it. It's going to save you some losses. Now, in the event that it comes below 50% and it takes off and it lets you get in just after, as long as it came back under the 50% initially, there's a higher chance now that it should keep going up from here. Ideally, you want to get in from the 50%, but being that it's a bullish market, you're okay to get in after as long as this 50% or below has been tapped. But like I said, ideally you do want to try to get in below, but in a real life scenario, that's not always going to be the case. And we'll take a look at the market on GJ here. And this is kind of this week's and last week's PA. And I just pulled a couple of fibs. And we'll also talk about the fib and how to use it in a range as well. So just ignore all the times. I know some of these are out of your guys' trading times or whatever. I just want to kind of show you the example. We pulled the fib from top to bottom. Price comes in the premium. We're in a bearish market. We're okay to sell from here. We'd find something on the 1 minute and we'd short this back down, targeting these lows. Again, here's a prime example. So we pulled a fib from the top to the bottom of this leg. Price starts returning. You could say, well, we have a supply here that put in lower prices, and you could try selling off that. And as you can see with the wick, you do get some sort of reaction. But what ultimately happens is price comes higher. And if you look really closely, what price ends up doing is coming right above the 50%, tapping into a higher supply here, and ultimately using this as inducement. So you would have either taken a loss or broken even on that. And the idea of the fib was to keep you out of this sell here. And if you don't get in right above this 50 and you end up catching something on the 1 minute right below, that's still valid to me as price did come above the 50. But for the most part, like I said, we try to get in above. It's just not always an option in real market scenarios. So again, we go from the top to the bottom. Price comes back up. You could say we have a supply here, and you're just like, oh, when it comes back up and taps me, I'm going to get in on here. And ultimately, what ends up happening is price runs right through. And what happened again is we have created sort of equal highs, and these equal highs are a form of inducement for the next supply up, which is actually in the premium. And again, you'd find something on the 1 minute, you'd enter there, and this process repeats over and over. We have the same deal here. A leg goes down. I actually caught the sell. Leg goes down, comes back up. I actually ended up taking a buy, looking to buy into. I looked to buy it back up into here, but I actually didn't even have my fib pulled and didn't realize it come tap to 50 because I would have definitely partialed out. I ended up breaking even on that. That's totally fine. But again, same concept. You came and tapped your sell to buy wicks, your supply, and the supply held, ultimately causing lower prices. Next fib, same story. We go down. You have a supply in the premium. You take a sell in here, and price tanks. This is a sell I tried taking today. However, there was no flip and confirmation entry. It just this would have been a risk entry that I didn't get in, so it didn't happen. On the flip side of things, we're gonna go into a bullish market here, just over here. And it's basically the reverse of what I just showed you guys. So here we have, you could say 15 is bearish. Um, you have a low, you have a high. This is the high that put in the last low. So structure gets broken. This low takes out this high right here. So this low now becomes strong and protected. And you have a new high. So you have an unconfirmed bullish trend. So ultimately what you do is you pull your fib. Um, so this is kind of a weird one. Whenever you get a clean candle push like this, you can actually look to the left of it and pull a supply zone across as a demand. And same applies when you're going down. Whenever there's a clean candle down, you can pull a demand across and use it as a supply. So I've been testing it, but it seems to work quite well. I think ICT calls them a fair value gap or something like that. But anyway, yeah, you would come into the 50, you'd find something on the 1 minute, and off to the moon. Same thing here. You go from the bottom of this leg to the top of this leg. Retracement comes in below the 50%. Now, if you look at the devil's in the details here, so this demand actually does hold as we wick below and we fail to close. New York would open around here. You'd find something on the 1 minute, and again, you'd run the highs. And this process repeats over and over. You pull your fib, you have a demand zone in the discount, and ultimately, depending how you trade it, I think it just comes below the 50. You're just below it. So yeah, you could, you know, say it did mitigate 50%, and you're okay to take it up. Now, let's talk about the fib and a range. So GJ gets into a range here, and the fib works the exact same in a range. And once you get into range-bound action, you might actually want to steer clear of the 50% zone altogether. And this is where you could use the 25-75, or you could use the 70-30. Actually, in this case, we'll run regular. And what this means is I would look for sells only in this zone, and I would look for buys only in this zone, and I would avoid the middle altogether. As you can see the PA in the middle, it doesn't matter if you take buys or sells in the middle whenever you're in a range. The most likely thing that's going to happen is you're going to get wiped and you'll become liquidity. So this is where a fib like this comes in handy. And a lot of pairs do like to range, especially if you're trading EU. EU usually ranges 2-3 days a week. So me trading New York, I do sell and buy in a range. So this ultimately becomes the tool that saves me. And if it's anywhere near the middle in the range, we completely stay out of there. And just by understanding this alone, you can keep yourself out of a lot of trades. And the relationship between the premium discount and the supply and demand, it's quite simple. It's quite simple. We sell on premium, you buy in discount. It's no different than buying a stock or flipping a house. You want to buy it cheap, you want to sell it high. And this is the exact same thing. This is an investment that you're holding for some time and then you're offloading it. So for this investment to work out, you have to get the best possible pricing, whichever way you're going. And the fib is one of these tools that can get us on the right side of the market more often than not. Something else I will say too is I'll pull the fib on, I'll get into pulling the fib on multiple time frames in another video and how to use them together. But what actually, we'll kind of quickly go over it here. But if we go to the daily quickly here, and I might have, hold on. Yeah, so I did end up deleting it. What we'll do here is just get rid of this. Cool. So you have your daily range high to the low. And what I'll do on something like this is I'll pull my fib on here. And generally, so this fib is from this point to this point. Oh, I do have it. Never mind. It's on the left here. Didn't even see it. So you can see now the blue line is 50% of my fib. What that means is this leg has gone over 50% of the initial move up, and at any point now we could see some sort of retracement. I expect some sort of retracement. Like, yes, it definitely can come running this, but at this point, sells become lower and lower probability as we get lower in the leg. However, there is a little variance to this rule. If we go to the lower time frame, the reason I still tried selling today, even though we're well in discount on the daily, is if we just take a look at this, GJ actually hasn't violated any supplies. All the major supplies held, meaning the only supplies that failed are the ones that were meant to be inducement. So we never had a swing point supply such as this fail. This swing point didn't fail. This swing point didn't fail. Anything that failed, such as, shit like this, that's just inducement. And as long as your main swing point supplies don't fail, which is your edges, ultimately, to me, expectation order flow continues. And like I said, definitely you will get lower probability and there should be some sort of retracement, but the trend's your friend till it ends. And yeah, that's all there is to the fib. And the closer you can get to the edge away from the 50, the better off you'll do with pricing, and the longer you can hold your trades, the better RR you can get. But like I said, anything in premiums good enough to sell. Anything in discounts good enough to buy. And that's about as short and sweet as I'll make this. We'll get into multi-time frame fib pairing in another video, and that's where I'll kind of show how to use the daily, the 4 hour and the 15-minute fib all together without getting too confused, and how to not get in the way with each other. But yeah, this was just a perfect example where supply just held control the whole time. That doesn't always happen, but this time it did. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll end this video here for now.